Hi guys. So have you ever wondered what's the difference between artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, generative AI and large LLMs, that is large language models. So people often use these terms interchangeably, but they are actually different layers of the same technology stack. Think of them like Russian nesting dolls. Each one fits inside the previous one. So today in just 10 minutes you'll understand how they relate, what each one does, and where tools like ChatGPT fit into the picture. So let's start with the biggest circle, that is artificial intelligence. AI is a broad field of creating machines that can perform human intelligence. The goal isn't necessarily to think like human. The goal is to make machines smart enough to solve problems. So for example, robotics or expert systems or natural language processing, computer vision, planning and search. All these comes under this. So imagine a robot navigating through a warehouse. It senses obstacles, plans a route and delivers packages. Or you can even have an example of your home appliances like robo cleaners, where it sees hurdles and then it reroutes its path and all. So that's AI. Notice that not every AI system learns from data. Some simply follow predefined rules. Inside AI, we have something called machine learning. So instead of programming every rule manually, we let computers learn from the data. So it understands from the data that we feed to it. So the machine improves with experience. Thinking of teaching a child. Instead of saying every cat has exactly these features, you simply show thousands of cat pictures. Eventually, the child recognizes cats independently. That's machine learning. Example includes like spam detection, recommendation system, or fraud detections, or predictive analytics, like where it can predict depending on the past experiences or past data. So the key idea is AI is the destination and machine learning is one way to get there. Within machine learning, you have deep learning. So deep learning uses artificial neural network inspired by the human brain. These networks contain many hidden layers, allowing them to learn complex patterns automatically. Unlike traditional machine learning, where engineers manually create features, deep learning learns those features by itself. Example, face recognition in your mobiles, speech recognition, autonomous vehicles, where it detects which lane to select and where to stop, at which signal to stop, image classification, machine translations, all these are under deep learning. Why did deep learning become popular? Because we suddenly had huge data sets, powerful GPUs, better algorithms. These three factors made deep learning extremely successful. Now, it's one of today's most hottest technologies, generative AI. So, traditional AI predicts, generative AI creates. Instead of answering, is this an image of a cat? It can generate a completely new image of a cat. So, generative AI creates text, images, music, videos, code, or audio. So, the examples are ChatGPT, Midjourney, DALI, Stable Diffusion, GitHub Copilot. So, the important point here is generative AI doesn't simply retrieve information, it generates brand new content based on patterns learned during the training. And the inner circle is large language models. Inside generative AI, an LLM specializes in understanding and generating human language. It is trained on enormous amount of text. So for examples, say GPT-4 or Claude or Gemini or Llama. So LLMs can answer questions, write articles, summarize documents, translate languages, generate code, hold conversations. All this can be done using LLMs. Think of an LLM as language expert. It predicts the next most likely word based on everything it has learned. That's how tools like ChatGPT work. So if we go with the hierarchy, here we have that is AI, next comes ML, next is DL, that is deep learning, then a generative AI, then LLMs. So each level is a subset of the previous one, which means every LLM is generative AI, every generative AI model uses deep learning, every deep learning model is machine learning, every machine learning model belongs to artificial intelligence. But reverse is not. That is, not every AI system uses machine learning, not every machine learning model is deep learning, not every deep learning model generates context. So let's have a quick recap. So AI is a broad field of making machines intelligent. And then machine learning enables machines to learn from their data. And deep learning uses deep neural networks to learn complex patterns. And generative AI creates new content such as text, images, music, and code. Large language models specializes in understanding and generating human language. This hierarchy is simple. Once you understand the structure, almost every AI technology you heard about, from self-driving cars to GPT, fits naturally into one of these layers. If you are beginning your AI journey, remember this hierarchy. It forms a foundation for understanding the modern AI systems. And advanced topics like transformers, multimodal AI, AI agents, and RAG, that is retrieval augmented generations, and all other things. So we'll be focusing on each of these individual keywords, and then we'll understand what it is exactly. So if you like this video and if you feel it is useful, then please share with your friends or whoever you like it is needed, and also drop into a comments if at all you are having any questions or any doubts, or you are being using any AI technologies in your day-to-day life. Let's meet up in the next video.